When Sir Alex Ferguson stepped down from his manager position in 2013, Manchester United didn't just lose a legend, but also their biggest weapon in the transfer market. In the following 12 years, the club targeted countless world stars, but failed to land most of them. In this video, we'll talk about the stories of stars who turned away from Old Trafford's gates, why these transfers didn't happen, how United tried to compensate for those losses, and where those players' careers ended up. Each name opens a small window for us to understand the club's on-field identity and management strategies. Let's go back to the summer of 2013, to David Moyes' first and only full season. In the summer of 2013, United made a deal with Fàbregas' agent, who wasn't getting regular playing time at Barcelona, and even sent an official offer. But the Spanish player chose to stay at Barca, then moved to Chelsea a year later for £33 million and won 2 Premier League titles there. United couldn't find the passer they were looking for next to Michael Carrick in midfield that season, and Marouane Fellaini, transferred from Everton as David Moyes' former student with great potential, couldn't meet expectations, causing them to finish the league in 7th place. That same summer, the club prepared a record £85 million offer to Tottenham. Manchester United hadn't been getting the productivity they wanted from wing players since Cristiano Ronaldo. Gareth Bale was a player who could be the cure for this problem. But Real Madrid's historic move came. Bale became the hero of La Decima. United had to entrust their wing problem to temporary solutions: Ashley Young, Antonio Valencia, and the gradually rising Adnan Januzaj. These players weren't the kind who could take Manchester United to the top in the Premier League. Before the 2014 World Cup, David Moyes had made a deal with Bayern Munich. When Moyes was fired, the file was shelved. When Louis van Gaal came, he also wanted Toni Kroos' transfer, but a similar scenario played out. Florentino Perez intervened and took Kroos to Real. Kroos wrote his name alongside history's best midfielders with his performance at Real Madrid. United had to pay £89 million for Paul Pogba years later to find a passer of Kroos' caliber. But Pogba would never reach the expected level. When Van Gaal wanted Gundogan in the summer of 2015, the player's back injury was seen as a serious risk, and talks stopped. The German went to City in 2016, becoming central to Pep's passing game. While United's rival City collected 4 championships in the Guardiola era, Old Trafford had to settle with just 1 Europa League Cup. In 2014, 2 clubs made offers to Mane, who was wearing a Southampton jersey: Manchester United and Liverpool. Van Gaal vetoed the transfer, saying he plays too individually. Mane joined Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool in 2016 and lifted the Champions League and Premier League trophies. Thomas Müller. Van Gaal wanted to bring his former student for £70 million in 2015. Bayern rejected the offer with a firm "not for sale." When United left the goal burden on Wayne Rooney's worn shoulders that season, the attack got stuck. Müller, meanwhile, added new ones to his nearly 30 trophies at Bayern. The fish that got away from Manchester United would be a big one once again. In the summer of 2017, Mourinho started negotiations with Southampton. When Woodward found the £75 million price tag crazy, Liverpool stepped in again and completed the transfer. Van Dijk became the cornerstone of Klopp's defense and would be one of the most important names in the Teams League and Champions League championships. The proof of this was also the 2019 Ballon d'Or voting. In the 2019 Ballon d'Or voting, he challenged Messi, and according to many, that year's Ballon d'Or rightfully belonged to Virgil. United, meanwhile, finished the league with a -1 goal difference with the Smalling-Jones duo. That same summer, Inter wanted £50 million for Perisic. United stayed at the £42 million limit. While Manchester United was throwing around incredible money, they chose to be tight on the Perisic transfer. When Ole Gunnar Solskjær took over in 2019, there was still no permanent solution on the left wing. Antoine Griezmann. In 2017, an official agreement had been reached, but due to the transfer ban imposed on Atletico, Griezmann said, "I can't leave my club in this situation." A year later, he went to Barcelona, returned to Atletico in 2021, and became La Liga's top scorer in 2024. United, meanwhile, bought Alexis Sanchez in 2018 and entered a high salary spiral. Erling Haaland. Ole's former student could have been transferred for £20 million with a release clause in January 2020. United found Mino Raiola too demanding in transfer negotiations. Haaland went to Dortmund, then moved to City and scored 50-plus goals in 2 consecutive seasons. They chose to play with 34-year-old Edinson Cavani instead of investing in the future, and the result was disappointment again. In the summer of 2020, Birmingham's 17-year-old talent toured Carrington and met Sir Alex. Bellingham's only request was to play regularly in the first 11. But Manchester United, not used to so many consecutive failures, couldn't risk the season by giving a young player a chance. The club couldn't guarantee the family immediate first-team status. Dortmund, famous for developing young footballers and selling them for high prices in recent times, stepped in and completed this transfer for £23 million. 2 years later, they sold Bellingham to Real Madrid for a sensational fee of €103 million. Bellingham completed the Champions League plus La Liga plus Super Cup treble with Madrid in 2024 and entered his 22nd birthday with 38 goals. He was now a superstar, one of the superstars that slipped through Manchester United's fingers. In 2020, if Villa got relegated, his release clause would have been activated. Villa stayed in the league. United found £65 million too high. A year later, City paid £100 million. Grealish became the free-roaming number 8 player in Pep's system and fit 3 league championships into 2025. Paulo Dybala. In the summer of 2019, a Lukaku swap was on the table. When United couldn't agree on image rights, the transfer was shelved. Dybala went to Roma in 2022 and experienced Conference League victory in 2025. Lukaku returned to Inter a year later. United had to fill the number 9 position with Edinson Cavani. Julian Alvarez. He was on the priority list in Ralf Rangnick's report. In the January 2022 transfer window, they could have agreed with River Plate for €17 million. United said, "Let's wait for summer." City paid the clause, and the player became the joker of the 2023 Manchester City squad. He would be one of the determining factors of the championship race with the critical goals he scored. Frenkie de Jong. He was Ten Hag's non-negotiable target in 2022. The club shook hands with Barca for a €75 million plus bonus package, but the player insisted on staying in Catalonia. United bought Casemiro instead. While the Brazilian made a difference in his first season, he disrupted the salary scale again. Harry Kane. In the summer of 2024, Ten Hag and the club allocated their budget to Rasmus Højlund, while Tottenham wanted £100 million. Kane went to Bayern and produced 50-plus goals in 2 consecutive seasons, becoming the Bundesliga top scorer in 2024-25 season. Højlund, meanwhile, couldn't reflect his potential in the seasons he played and became a disappointment. Jamal Musiala. In 2019, he could have been taken from Chelsea by paying academy compensation. Bayern grabbed him, and he entered 2025 with Ballon d'Or candidacy. Moyes Caicedo. In 2021, it was suggested to buy him from Independiente del Valle for £4 million. The watch list was buried in reports. Brighton paid £6 million and sold him to Chelsea for the £115 million in 2023. United was continuing with the Fred and McTominay duo in midfield at that time. In the post-Sir Alex period from 2013 to 2025, Manchester United missed at least 16 major transfers at the final step. The reasons can be summarized under 3 headings: lack of strategy. Management chose to chase name-focused opportunities instead of long-term football philosophy. Financial concerns. As in the Perisic or Van Dijk examples, prices called high became market standard a few seasons later. Persuasion architecture. Examples like Haaland, Bellingham, and de Jong showed that sporting project and role guarantee are more important than money for modern players. Almost all of the missed stars lifted trophies at their own clubs or rival teams. Some, Haaland, Bellingham, Kane, entered among the world's top 5 footballers. United, meanwhile, could only add the 2017 Europa League, 2024 FA Cup, and 2025 League Cup to their trophy cabinet during this period. What do you think? Drop your thoughts below. Which missed transfer hurt United the most? Who's the biggest what-if player on this list? And if you want more deep dives into football's biggest transfer sagas and missed opportunities, hit that follow button. We've got plenty more where this came from.